long-term farm bill that stands up for our ranchers.
After years of setbacks, the Farm Bill, a measure authorizing nearly $100 billion in annual federal spending, finally emerged from Congress. Debate stretched over 2 days as senators from both sides of the aisle argued for and against approval of the conference committee report. In the end, however, lawmakers praised the compromise.
This Farm Bill contains the greatest reforms to agricultural programs in decades. We have finally ended direct payment subsidies, which are given to farmers in good times and bad. Instead, we shift to a responsible risk management approach that only gives farmers assistance when they experience a loss.
The risk management policies in the bill recognize the regional differences in priorities of agriculture production throughout the country. The commodity and crop insurance titles of the conference report reflect how Congress can work effectively to support American agriculture and at the same time be responsible to taxpayers.
North Dakota Senator John Hoeven also praised the bill and stressed its importance to all Americans.
The farmers and ranchers we have in this country produce the highest quality, lowest cost food supply in the world.
One of the biggest shifts in policy was the demise of direct payments, which paid farmers regardless of prices or yields. Instead, lawmakers improved a more market-based crop insurance support program. Most of the $4.5 billion annual cost would kick in when a farmer has losses. One of the biggest opponents to the bill was the American meat industry. It wanted the removal of a mandate requiring packers to implement mandatory cool standards.
And it continues strong country of origin labeling so as consumers know where their meat was born, raised, and processed, giving them the option to buy U.S.-made meat if they so choose.
The legislation was not without opposition in farm states. Republican Senator Charles Grassley, a farmer from Iowa, said too much of the bill was done behind closed doors. He also cited the removal of language that would have reworked subsidy eligibility and accurately defined who could be considered a farmer.
Frankly, when farmers that shouldn't be getting big payments from the farm program get them, subsidizing large farmers to get larger is, in my estimation, wrong.
Arizona Republican John McCain took issue with spending to improve the marketing of sheep in the maple syrup industry, catfish research, and even a tax on Christmas trees.
How are we supposed to restore the American people's confidence with this monstrosity? The only policy that gets bipartisan traction in Congress is Washington's desire to hand out taxpayer money like it's candy.
This conference report certainly isn't perfect. As with any legislation that is this important and far-reaching, it's impossible to fully satisfy everybody. But this is a reasonable compromise.
The deal also drew criticisms on where cuts were made to provide savings. Overall spending of the life of the bill is $956.4 billion, and nearly 80% of the funds will go to the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, or SNAP. The program, formerly known as food stamps, currently helps 1 in 7 Americans. Nevertheless, one Southern lawmaker says the farm policy bore the brunt of the cuts.
But you're cutting $8 billion from the 20% of the program and the other $8 billion from the 80% of the program. And that's not balanced.
Senator Patrick Leahy of Vermont said the nutrition spending cuts should not have been a question up for debate.
Feed children in America so they might actually learn when they're at school? Oh, we can't afford that. Come on. Feeding those hungry children is an investment in the future of this great nation.
In the end, very little drama occurred in the vote as the bill passed by a margin of nearly 2-1.
If not, on this vote, the yeas are 68, the nays are 32, and the conference report is agreed to.